What a day. Some of you know that we've kind of been sick here in the household. And my mom was the first one to get it. And when my mom sometimes gets a cold or flu, she kind of slacks off on taking some of the medications she should take. And then it catches up with her, and she has cirrhosis of the liver, and she has to take this liquidy syrup that in the last 2 or 3 years she hasn't had a solid bowel movement because it flushes the enzymes out of her liver, so she basically poops this sludge. Sorry to be so graphic, but true. And so my mom sometimes doesn't take it for a while, and which makes the toxins in her body build, which affects her mentally. It causes her hand to start doing this. She gets the tremors. And I noticed it starting happening on Thursday. And when I woke up Friday, Mom's like, I made a doctor's appointment, are you happy? But they couldn't get her until tomorrow. Well, she started getting worse over the weekend, and on Wednesday or Thursday, she had complained of the whole inner thigh hurting. And today, she was in Dad's recliner, and she didn't get out of it at all. She didn't even go urinate, and for someone whose kidneys have shut down on them before, to have no urination is not a good thing. So we finally got her to sit up. She was very pissed off and belligerent. Leave her alone. Leave me alone. Nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong with me, as she's doing that. But the toxins affect her in a way that she doesn't think there's anything wrong with her. We're just picking on her. And it's happened before, and the same thing happens because my mom is a stubborn-ass woman. So finally, it is 10:45 right now. At about 10 o'clock, my mom set up, and we're like, you need to go pee. We have to see if you're producing urine. You have to go in there. She sits up in the chair, and Dad has to help her up, and she can barely walk. That's how bad her leg is hurting her, and she's weak. She would take a step, and literally her knees would buckle. And if my mom were to go down, there'd be no way me and Dad can get her up. I mean, she's not like as big as me. She's, but you know, you've seen pictures of her. She ain't a tiny little thing. So she gets to the bathroom, and her leg hurts so bad she can't really sit on the toilet. So she hovers, and she pretty much pees herself because it's just a bad situation. And she's like, hand me a towel. And he's like, I can't hand you a towel because if I let go of you, you're going to fall. I'll be okay. Let me go and go get me a towel. And Dad's like, do you not understand what I'm saying? You are going to fall. I'm calling Grandma. And I said, I'm calling Grandma. Because, I said, Grandma, she's just not. And Grandma always wants to say, well, you know, she's been really sick with the flu. I said, this is not the flu, Grandma. So this is her liver. This is not the flu. And so, Grandma's always the one who wants to say, well, you know, she's been really tired and she hasn't felt good. I know she had the flu really bad. This is not that. So I get off the phone with her, and then it's just a mess. And I get behind her in the hallway, and Dad gets in front of her, and I mean, her knees just literally buckle. And then, I mean, we're holding her, and we get her around a corner, and she's standing between a chair and an organ, and Dad gets her up enough where I can grab a chair from the kitchen, and I said, Mom, sit back. She goes, I can't sit back, don't you understand? I said, no, you have to sit back right now. She wanted to go sit on the couch. If we got her on the couch, there'd have been no way we'd have been able to get her off of it. And so I sit her on a high kitchen chair, and she didn't want to sit there because her inner thigh hurt so bad. And I said, Dad, hand me the phone. And I called 911. And I told him what was going on. And I told him what I thought it was, that she was a diabetic and hadn't been really taking much of her sugar or her insulin. And she was kind of out of it. And she's very pissed off that we're calling you. So then they were like, is she breathing? Is she, they ask all kinds of questions. So then we just had to sit and wait for the ambulance to come, and they just took her off. They just left with her, and Dad took her purse. I packed up Dad with the purse with all her medical stuff in it, and the cell phone and his wallet, and I have to get some sleep because unfortunately I cannot miss work tomorrow. This has happened before, so I know what needs to happen. They'll make her take a high dose of her lactulose and flush some of the, which means she's just pretty much gonna shit her brains out. And they'll put her on IVs and stuff. And Grandma calls, and I said, well, the ambulance just took her. And she's like, well, where are they taking her? I told her which hospital she was going to. So she's calling my mom's sister, and then those two are going to meet my dad over at the hospital, so Dad doesn't have to stay there alone, because Dad's like, you need to get some sleep, because I know you have to work in the morning. So that has been the last 50 minutes of my life. How y'all doing? So yeah, I literally, when I was in the hallway standing behind her, I yelled at the top of my lungs, don't you realize that you're sick and need to go to the hospital? Can you stand here and tell me that you're perfectly fine and don't need to go to the hospital? She's like, just leave me alone. Let go of me and let me go to the couch. And we're like, we can't let you go, or you're going to fall right here in the hallway. She fell in the bathroom, but luckily she fell backwards onto the toilet. It's a mess. And my dad, it's a mess. And she just doesn't realize it. She doesn't realize she's sick, because the enzymes just mess with her mentality. So yeah, now I'm going to try to get some sleep. I have a sad, upset dog. I'm going to take her outside. And then when I get up in the morning, I'm going to call the cell phone to see what's going on and what happened. I think I'm going to take the regular phone downstairs with me tonight too. So it's kind of a mess here at my house. Just thought I would share. It's kind of a bummer. But she's just a pain in the ass and so stubborn. Stubborn. I think I get that from her. I'm that way too. Now I gotta go to bed. I'm tired. I'm mentally stressed out. Then I have to go to work tomorrow. And I haven't been since last Tuesday. So my basket's gonna be hella full. And it's just gonna be hella crazy. Although, maybe Tammy will help me strip my pages for me. I don't know. This is crazy. Okay. I'm out. Bye.